not to guess my age, but I've been an entrepreneur for 2 decades plus, so 21 years, after working in financial services and investment banking for a few years before that. So stop guessing. Now start thinking, okay, so how old is she? 2 plus 2, 4. No, stop guessing. I was only 5 when I started business. That's all you need to know. And in this period, the reason why I'm bringing it up is in this season, I have been through a number of transitions, also coming from financial services, moving into pure entrepreneurship, into wellness, beauty, transitioning from there into doing professional development, coaching, training, etc. As I transitioned all through, there are a few things that I found out. And as to why I asked you to do the 30-second drill, and I'll choose a winner, don't worry, is the fact that in business, people, we all focus on customer service, which is good. Finances is good. Cash flow is good. My business is failing. How do I survive? Because I've survived business failure, complete collapse. And how did I come back? Complete collapse. Empty nest, have zero in the bank. And I'll tell you a brief part of that story. But through all of that process, I realized something. Do you know that the currency to doing business today is not cash? The currency to doing business today is not money, it's not cash flow. The fundamental currency to doing business today is trust and influence. If you have that, you'll get cash. You'll get value. Erica, I think I'm this thing. Please don't take the thing back to the front. And I learned that the hard way. I learned that when my business completely failed and I had to start over. I thought I would never ever fail in business because I've sat in sessions when I heard people talk about it and it didn't make sense. But do you know that circumstances can change in a heartbeat? Do you know that the person you could be doing business with today can vanish in a heartbeat? And when I say vanish, I'm not saying die. I'm talking about vanish. I'm not saying stealing. But something could also happen to their business that would immediately derail your business. Do you know that 1 minute you are standing and the next minute you are going down? How many entrepreneurs can relate to what I'm saying? So I had to find an innovative way of trying to understand how do you not only survive, not only thrive, but transition, come back in a way where you will be sustainable for life. Because it had happened to me multiple times, and the second time was totally devastating. Went up to a stage where I thought I was invisible. So my first quote message that wakes me up every day, the reason why I'm standing here doing what I'm doing, and I want you never to forget this statement. Every new level of success will be dependent on your current willingness to work harder. Every new level of success would always be dependent on your current, please underline new level and current willingness. Meaning that it doesn't matter where you've reached in business. It doesn't matter how seasoned you are or how aspiring you are. At every stage of business, you need a new level of energy. It doesn't matter how high your business has reached. It doesn't matter how much your business has made. It doesn't matter how many contracts got you there. Because that money that you have made could go like this. Until you continue, you would never, ever see that ability to succeed. So a lot of business people get to a stage and say, I'm tired. How many failures? How many endings? How many reasons? How many times? And I'm speaking to you heart to heart. As for this conversation, it's going to be raw. You're going to hear rawness. And then I'll just share some principles and I'll leave. You build a business. I built a business and trained thousands of people. Created an industry, and that industry came back and bit me because that industry, the same people within that industry started to do what I was doing and duplicated every single thing I did. But meanwhile, when I trained them for free. And that's business. So the same people you will create will come back and kill your business. Don't ever forget that. Same people. Yes, sir. So I'll tell you what I did. And I'm going to tell you truths here. And I'll tell you certain things and I'll tell you certain things. So I'm starting with teams. So you will create teams. And this is not to say, I'll repeat it in a minute. This is not to say that you won't have good people. Because as I say this today, I have people who worked for me for 15 years. And I had people who stayed with me. And I had people who waited until I set them up with their own business. But those people will be few. You would get those who will come specifically with a mission. I was able to interview somebody. She interviewed perfectly. She knew everything about my business, learned, and she knew that I was somebody who was focused on the more you know about me, the quicker it is to work for me because you can move faster. She found out that trick, came into an interview, and everybody else in the interview told me, this person will not work. And I said, oh, ask for me as an entrepreneur, because I've reached that place, and I said, oh, my gut tells me she'll be good. When I hired her, do you know that I would come to work? I was the first person to get to work. And I thought that I was the earliest with the housekeepers. She got to work even before us. She would enter the place at 5:30 and take a picture of every single thing that was there. Documents, papers. For 6 months, she was doing this. Until one day I walked in and met her. And then I asked her this. When I looked at her files, she started from the day she started. And that person used that to try to build their own model. That is just an example of what a team can do. So that's one. Now, aside from teams, you're going to have people who come in unintentionally. They come in with good intentions. They come in because they want to grow. But when they come in, they don't perform to your business standard. And because of what they do every single day, your business loses business. You do everything to try and train them because you like them, because you want to pull them along. But they just don't know how. Because they don't get what is in your tummy. And then you have people who at the end of the day are counting your money and therefore are just seeing only what you are receiving and not the fact that you even borrowed that money from a bank. And that you have loans to pay and abilities to pay. So the people also think, oh, if she or he is making that much, then let me take my own. You have those two. And you have those who will say they demand more salary or else they will threaten you. And they are probably the best people you have. And you have people will walk to. A client who knows you very well and is your friend, who was standing with you when things were at the beginning, now sees that you are doing well, and go to your staff and say, I know this other company who needs people like you. You are not being paid well because I know the person. And that person will walk away with your best team member. And then you have the situations where you will be supplying somebody something and all of a sudden the money is not coming. And then you call and the person says, business is not good. Meanwhile, that was the last money you had to invest in that business because you thought that person's business was growing, not knowing that person's business was dying. And then you have the situations. Am I telling you real stuff here? And then you have the situations when you go and borrow to sell, build, and you have your plans to make the payments. It's not that you didn't have a plan. And then all of a sudden, money is not coming, and the bank is asking you, and you don't know what to do. And then as you see, within a year, 2 years, 3 years, the bank will tell you, you owe 10 times more than you have. And then you have those whose little and final money that you have, you've put it somewhere and it's stored. The next minute, you hear that that business has closed down. These are real facts. These are real truths. These are entrepreneurship truths. But then there's the other side. That is what makes entrepreneurship exciting. The challenges. My only thing I tell every entrepreneur here is we have a lot of ideas. We have a lot of things that people will come and tell you, why don't you stop this and do this? Let me tell you some of the permeations I've gone through to get me to this stage. At a stage in my business, after I had built to a certain point, and I dropped down, and I'm talking about not 1 year, not 2 years, not 3 years, but 10 years. I left, after it was almost 12 years, left my business and went to work full time and came back. That is how hard things got. And when I went to work for somebody who could be my child, excuse me to say. But I submitted, came back to try to build again. That was where I had to get earnings to pay bills that were waiting. So sometimes as an entrepreneur, situations like this will also happen to you. You have to remember that it's not everybody that can leave and go and work, but it's an option for entrepreneurs. The only thing is, you always have to have your vision in mind so strong that whilst you are in the work world, you can never be secure. You have to have something else to back. Also, I have been in that permeation where not only did I work full time, but I was running my business and things went down. And I had to transition into a totally different area that I had no idea of. And I had to learn from scratch. Because I had no clue about what I was doing. But I took the time to invest, learn, build knowledge, to build a business around that. So as an entrepreneur, there are things that are going to happen and there are roads you have to take. 10 years ago, I probably will not have this conversation with you, but today I'm having it with you because now I've done 2 decades. Plus, the time I opened my doors to business was the 3rd August 1998 in my father's living room with 2 people. So, when people see today and they mention Dzigbordi, I say you're only seeing the latter part. You have to know what came behind it. So, dear entrepreneurs, I have a few lessons I've learned, which I'm sharing, but I also have a few tips and principles. For me, I never like to leave people without any practical tools you can go and use tomorrow. I'll never enter a room with entrepreneurs and do that. So I want to share a few things that I have found out that has given me the ability to come back from failure, giving me the ability to sometimes sustain when things are hard. And they have been the same things. So, every new level of success will demand your current willingness to work harder. Every new level. And let me tell you, as an entrepreneur, you have to know which you are. I know you've been told many times. Whether you are a manager or whether you are a leader or whether you are both. A manager focuses on performance. A leader focuses on influence. So if you don't know the difference between the two, find it. If you need both, then find it and learn it. Managers focus on performance and leaders focus on influence. I tried to do both many times and I failed drastically. Now, what did I come to learn? I came to learn that your change, your transition, your ability, did you know that it got to a stage when I was coming back from one of my failures? And I said, yes, one of my failures, because I failed more than once. I only had one client. Numero uno, one. And that one client has done more for me than sometimes 100 clients in my books. Why did I use that word, trust and influence? Sometimes it's not about the many, it's about the single. So if you are struggling in business here, or if you need a way to get to your new level, or if you are trying to build businesses, you need to remember a few things. Every single person you meet is a possibility. Let me put it there again. Every single person you meet is a possibility. Don't write anybody off. Every single person, that's the first thing. Secondly, within 30 seconds of people meeting you, something happens to their mind. Cognitive, that's why I use the 30-second method. I'm talking about people you have never met before. They go through a process, 4-level process. Take me to, I'll skip through it. Just take me to the next. I want to show them something. What is happening with my destiny? Okay, so the 4 processes is this. She will put it on the board eventually. Within 0 seconds, the first second, 2 to 7 seconds, when people meet you, they decide if they have connected with you within 2 to 7 seconds. Within 7 to 15 seconds, they decide if they like you. Within 15 to 21 seconds, they decide if they respect you. And finally, within 21 to 30 seconds, they decide if they trust you. What you need to focus on is to get people you meet to trust you. That's why I said that when I had no money in my pocket, I was able to get somebody to trust me based on what I did. I did not look at who they were, what they had, or their background. But I was able to get one person to trust me, and it led to another person trusting me, and it led to another person trusting me. So, people, so first one is that everybody you meet is a possibility. Second, within 30 seconds that you meet somebody, get them to trust you. Now, I need to let you remember something. People don't buy products and services. People buy people. People don't buy products and they don't buy services. Because do you know what? Products and services always exist in multiples. Don't you have a competitor? Don't you have somebody who's doing the same thing you're doing? Don't you have somebody who's carrying the same exact product? Probably in this room you have probably 3 or 4 of the same. It's not your products and your services that will make your business succeed. It's you. So as an entrepreneur, as you live here, get people to buy you. When they buy you, anything else you have, it doesn't matter whether it is water you are selling, charcoal, because they trust you. How many people have been in a situation where they are working with somebody on their project or their product, And then they recommend, oh, you need to buy this to other person. Can you get it for me? How many people have seen that happen before? Because you are doing one thing for the person is putting everything else in your hands because the person does not have time. That is how I got my first business back. I helped the person, and that's what I'm saying, that when I saw the person, there was nothing about the person that looked like my next business. But you know what I used? I used the influence strategies, which I'll share with you before. Practical. The person understood influence communication. And when I used it on them, they trusted me. And as soon as they trusted me, they not only trusted me, but they entrusted me with everything else that they did. That time, I had nothing. That's why I told you that it is not money. You don't have to go and bring goods from the port before you start selling goods. You don't have to carry boxes under your place. But I need cash flow. I need to borrow money from a bank. No, build you. When you build you, everything else will follow. We have the hard skills of business, the cash flow. And what I need to teach you is soft skills. What are the soft skills I need to teach you? There are 4 P's. Where's Erica? Take me to the 4 P's. That is it. Positioning, packaging, presentation, and proposition. And I will run through them very fast. Please take me to the next slide. The tools and techniques. First of all, don't worry about the big words there. Your positioning is simply being aware of who you are today. That's all I'm saying. Some people call it self-awareness, some people call it this. Let me just break it down to you. I want tonight, listen, any serious entrepreneur here that decides to follow just these 4 things, if you came here for nothing and you pick what I teach you and you do it, you will send me a message and tell me that you succeeded. Watch. So identify tonight, not your product, not your services, but identify tonight you as a person, you, what you are, your weaknesses, and what your highlights are. You. If right now I meet you and I'm talking to you and I say, sell me, what do? You're into printing. So you were the guy who, So you are into printing. Okay, so both of you are into printing. So you are into printing. So you do printing very well. That's your business. So what is your own highlight? How will you communicate that you can now buy? What will you do? How will you talk? I'll buy from you. You know why? Introductions don't sell. Definitions do. Introduction uses your name. Definition doesn't need your name. When you meet people and you want to sell in 30 seconds, don't use your name. If I meet you today, do you know what I will tell you? Good afternoon, sir. I help people to craft, crystallize, and conceptualize their communication so that when they engage people, they try to impact them for trust and influence. I can help you, yourself, to communicate so effectively that others will want to do business with you. My name is Dzigbordi. I don't do introductions, I do definitions. So if I come and walk to you, by the time I say my name is Dzigbordi Dosoo, you've already... There are 10, 15 people, let's say, 40 people in this room. All these 40 people will be saying the same thing. My name is. Are you going to remember? That's why people were saying Sechi, Nashoko, now whatever. Because the name doesn't stand. You introduce your story, you introduce your definition, you introduce what the person gets from you. So if you are partners in the business, then introduce your side. That will pull the other person's side. The only key thing you need to do is how to communicate it in the most extraordinary way. So first light and your low light. Self. Do an awareness check. Tonight. Don't wait till tomorrow. What is it that when you say, immediately, somebody will lift up their head, even if their head is down? What is it? Do you know that at offices we walk into pitch business all the time? 100 people have gone there before us. Even if somebody sent you there, you will get the first contract because somebody mentioned your name, but subsequent ones, you have to do the work yourself. First contracts will always be sometimes easy, but I always tell people, if you can't sustain it, why start it? So you are the ones that sustain. So do your self-awareness check, highlights and lowlights. Second, Erica, you need to get these things right. I call them your ABCD. Your appearance, your behavior, your communication, and your digital footprint. You need to get them right. And let me talk to you simply about that. Listen, appearance is not about the dresses that you wear. People think that appearance, you just have to represent your brand in a way. Meaning that if you do natural hair products, you need to be natural. If you are doing printing, you need to be fine. You need to carry a professional appearance, yes. But when people are talking about visual, they are talking about body language. 93% of what we say is what we don't say. Your verbal communication, the words I'm speaking, is only 7%. Do you know what people buy? People buy confidence. So if I came here and came to stand here, right? You know that there's a when you're very specific with 2 ways. The first one is hello. The second one is hello, not hello. 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 Those are the two. That is what sells. Those are the vocals that sell. You have your visual, your verbal, and your vocal. Your visual and your vocal are 93%. Your words are visual. So when you are talking on the phone and say, hello. So let me give you a free gift. You have a phone. Take your phone and put the recorder on. I want to teach you how to say it. When you go home, listen to yourself and use this going forward. This is free and can't be it's part of my training class, but I'll teach it to you. Take out your phones. You don't. When you are talking to your family socially, you can say hello. That is social language. But business language is hello. And hello, let's say it together. Hello. Hello. Doesn't it sound different? So, hello. Hello. Hello, is this Emmanuel? Hello, good afternoon. May I speak to Emmanuel? Compare that to hello, good afternoon. May I speak to Emmanuel? Have you called your friends? The person is cognitively picking the wrong thing from you. So when you say hello, the next person that picks up the phone says, hello, this is Emmanuel. Oh, hello, how are you? When the person has heard a different, excited, hopeful question. Even the way we speak sells or rejects us. I'm telling you things that have worked for me. It wasn't money. That's how I was able to break through communication. So have you taken out your phone? Okay, let's do it first, and then you will do it into your phone. So let's learn it. The first one is what? Hello. And the second one is what? Hello. Let's try again. Hello. Second one is hello. Let's try again. Hello. The second one is hello. Now you say yours into your phone. If I were you, I'll say it both. So you say hello. Hello. Say it into your phone and close it. You can listen to it. Exactly. Hello. So once you do that, immediately it changes your conversation, appearance, behavior, communication, digital footprint. So communication is your visual, your vocal, and your verbal. Your vocal is one of the simple ones I've given you now. Now, how many people know that these days, when you talk about closing of deals, the deals are closed at a table? Somebody will say, come and let's have lunch. The lunch they're having with you, they are watching how you are eating. A lot of us entrepreneurs take it for granted. But if you don't know how to use your fork and knife, people ask, what else did you skip learning? So right now, can you assure me that if you go and sit at a table, you can get it right? 100%. Can you assure me? I heard 2 yeses. Let me give you a simple tip. If you see a round circle, round, you can even draw it in your book if you like. Draw a circle like a ball, empty. Empty circle. To the left of that circle, write B, outside the line. To the left, extreme left, write B. To the middle of that circle, write M. To the right of that circle, write W. B. B out there, yes, M, and then W. The M is in the middle. Do you know why I made you draw this? Be my wife. You know why I made you draw this? It's simple. Because every time you sit at the table, you just remember this for me. The left B is where your bread will always sit. Middle is your meal. And right is your water or your wine. Why am I teaching you this? I'm teaching you this because when you are sitting there, you go and pick somebody's drink from the left, wine or water from the left, you've distorted an entire table. And you'll be the most embarrassed person on that table. You see, these things seem like so unnecessary, but they are the relevant things. Let me tell you, somebody invited me to lunch. I didn't even have a clue that they were trying to assess whether I know how to use my fork and knife because they were going to send me on a trip to represent their business. I was an entrepreneur looking for business from them, and they asked me, what can you do? At that time, I only knew introduction, not definition. So what I did was I started mentioning my name. My name is Dzigbordi Dosoo. Before the person started saying, hey, madam, if that's what you're going to do, you've already lost the business. So tell the people how you help them before you mention them. I said, Jesus. My brother. Then, when they invited me to the lunch, there were people there. I didn't know what to do. Quickly, did I go in there? That's why I'm teaching you these small tips. Because when you know, you never know that the next table you are sitting at is the table of representation for outside. They were sending me to go and do something as an entrepreneur for their company because the people in the company could not do it. They were all very busy and I was supplying them the product. But they know that when you go, the Germans will take you out. And when you can't do this thing, you can't represent their company well. Let me tell you, opportunities show up and we drop them just because we did not prepare ahead of time. We limit entrepreneurship to running a business day to day, but only one person can change the structure of your business. You must be ready to be open. You must be ready to learn. And you must be ready to build your soft skills. That is how you make. So for me, this is how I see entrepreneurship. You need to make personal impact. That means sell yourself. All the other things will start coming. So don't limit yourself to the fact that, oh, as for me, I have a cocoa farm. I do processing and I sit in my office. No lie. One client can come and you say, I'll buy everything you have. Now I want you to come to America and come and let me take orders from you. When you get there, you think that they will just open doors for you. If you are not ready, nobody is willing for you to supply them. They are looking for professional people, not people who cannot communicate, people who cannot talk. Please, am I teaching you something? Your presentation, your view, your visual, your verbal, your vocal, that is what I just told you. What visual do you have of the clients you are dealing with today? It is key. Erica, take me your visual, verbal. Your visual is your body language. Now, every time I meet people, you need to give them something called eye contact. The next thing you need to give the person is a handshake. The next thing you need to give the person is a positioning, how you stand. And then the next thing you need to give the person is your stance. So let me show you. In this our country that when you go to, I grew up, I don't know about you, when I was growing up, I grew up with an old lady, my grandmother. She taught me that when you see adults, look down. Because that is what shows respect. If you look up at the face of an adult, you are being disrespectful. That's how I grew up. But do you know that in the business world, if you look down, you lose business? Until you can look somebody in the eye, you've lost it. Now, we also learned that when you meet adults, now lie. In business world, there are three main hands you have to have. The first one is fun. Or somebody said recently, let me give you an example. My brother, your name is Prince. So, right. Okay. So, Prince was sitting somewhere, and this is a real story. He was watching the recent Ghana Black Star. As he was watching the game, he got excited because Ghana is Guinea. We are taking a little Guinness and a little excitement. So he saw, my dear, come. And she came, went to him. Then he hugged her and said, sit down, enjoy. She sat on him. My dear sister, their friend, decided to take a quick shot. She took a shot of it. And then she passed it on to another friend. The friend was being funny and put it on Facebook and said, man and sexually harassing underage woman or something. The next minute, it became a WhatsApp topic. What I'm saying is, that is how things go viral. Most of the things we see there are not truths, but they are already gone, and your face is on it. So every day, you are going to put something on Facebook, Instagram. Ask yourself, am I using my best judgment to do this? What if X is watching? X is watching. If my name is mentioned and they come to my page, what are they going to see? I'm not saying don't put nice pictures there of yourself. Happily do so. But are you going to put a picture wearing boxer shorts and a t-shirt with a beautiful lady on your lap? Or are you going to put a picture there that you are eating fufu and granule soup? Come and see my food. What does that do to your business? Nothing. What does that do to you? It takes away value. So if you're going to appear right, you're going to behave right, you're going to communicate right, watch your business footprint, your digital footprint as well, because you can't present your physical self right and you haven't gotten your digital self right. We are not told or taught these things because entrepreneurship does not have this as a base. There are people who had the privilege. I didn't have the privilege. But when I began to lose a lot of chances, lose contracts, things were not happening, then I began to ask myself questions. That is where I took a step back and I started to say, let me reflect and find out. And I started to learn. I had so many clashes, mistakes I did with how I carried myself, how I behaved. And I didn't know that they were hurting me as a business person. I went deep and started to master the soft skills. And I realized they are the most important things we need to cross the next boundary. So as you look for new business, as you are trying to grow your existing business, as you are trying to get grants, contracts, and so on, remember, tell your story. Remember, don't just introduce, define. Remember, focus on building yourself. I've taken way more than the time I needed, but I just wanted to leave you with this. People don't buy products. People buy people. Develop yourself, build yourself, and people will start buying you. All the best.